Afternoon and a very happy new year from Perth in Scotland for the live coverage of the Mercure Perthmasters 2025. I hope the heads are all clear as we get ready to bring you live coverage of this afternoon's featured match between Team Paulauskaite from Lithuania and Team Henderson from Scotland. Teams are doing their last stone draw to determine hammer, so stones are live, but a couple of more introductions. It's Alan Chalmers and Mary Milne in the commentary box. Happy New Year, Mary. Welcome.
Happy New Year to you, Alan. Did you have a good time?
I seem to remember having a good time, yeah.
Perfect, that's great.
Some of it was fuzzy, but some of it was excellent as well. So we had a good time. So yeah, interesting match up here. Lithuania against Henderson team from Scotland. Both playing their first match of the tournament. So this is their draw the shot for Team Paulauskaite.
And a pretty good effort,
it
would appear.
Effort that is just touching the top of the 1 foot circle, so the umpires will measure that. That's what the designated thrower from Scotland will have to try and beat. I think they maybe do the other hand as well, I beg your pardon. So that's an excellent start.
Such an important part of the game now, being able to make, you know, a good couple of draws with your first two attempts there, and you know, important for this game, but also important as you go through to qualification routes, and maybe not so much in this Masters, but for all of the events that they play in now, it's so important to be able to get a good ranking with your draw shot. Getting
used to doing that routine of getting your practice. They only get one practice per hand here, but normally in bigger events you might get more. But just getting the routine correct of sitting on the hack, listening, getting the numbers right, and then throwing.
Yeah.
As you play more advanced competitions in the Perthmasters, for sure it's an important part. So that's a great first stone by Lithuania, measures kicked away by the umpire now. That was touching top of one.
It's nice to see the Perth juniors helping out here with the last stone measurements, and I think they're doing some of the line scoring as well. So great for the younger players to be involved in such a prestigious and, you know, a competition that they will no doubt be looking to actually enter and play in years to come. So it's nice that they're able to help out.
So this will be out turn, anti-clockwise rotation this time.
Thrower pretty adamant that it didn't need swept, but the sweepers are certainly working harder now.
Now who's going to be correct? It's pretty close.
It looks another good draw. And slightly overswept, you would say.
We'll give it to the throw of that one. It's just marginally overswept. That one's just gone to the back of the 1 foot. So two fairly consistent stones there, both hands. And great to see even in these practice ones that there's a bit of draw there. That was from the edge of the 8 foot in.
I didn't time it, but it certainly looked like it was fairly keen. It didn't look slow at all.
Yeah, can take a look when Team Henderson's throwers do that. Maybe put a time from up here in the box. This competition has 15 teams playing over 3 sections. 6 matches on every time there's a women's session on.
And good representation from Switzerland, Lithuania as we have here, Norway, America, China, so
notable
and Scotland,
absentee.
of course.
One big notable absentee. Where is Team Lockhart?
Well,
last year's runners-up have not come back to grace the stage.
Yeah, I think Team Lockhart had such a good run last year. They decided that maybe they wouldn't chance their luck too much, so we stepped aside for the younger.
Weakened the field.
No, I don't know about that, but I think we are another year older. So
yeah, that's true, and there's some very, very young teams here, both in the women's and the men's. Teams that are all going off to World University Games,
which is really good to see. It's nice to see the young teams coming forward.
Juniors, yeah. So a good field without the need for
the slightly more experienced. Yes. I think that's I think that's a good enough word for us. Experienced. So Katie McMillan throwing here, the practice.
That's the practice one, so
Yep,
weight is ideal.
pretty good weight.
Just need to nip the ice a little bit. It's difficult when you only get one practice throw, isn't it?
It is, because, you know, do you throw the same line because you kind of know what the weight is, or do you chance that, well, if you throw the same weight but just another foot further in, you're going to get the same run on the stone? So, yeah, I guess it's tricky. No time clocks, Alan, for the Masters. Just the umpires kind of trying to keep play moving, and
it's an 8-end game, and they do have a bit of time. The next session's gone for 3 hours, I think, so they do have time. But it's amazing when there are no time clocks. The teams just become more deliberate, more thinking. So the umpires will be on their toes. There will be no hopefully hanging about. So this is Scotland's Henderson's second practice. So the next two stones that we see will be live.
Good line.
So 2 stones in the 1 foot to beat. That's quite a challenge.
Yeah, so a tough call for your first time on the ice as well, and just throwing 2 stones up. These teams will be used to having maybe 9 minutes practice before a game, so it is a change of routine for them. But I guess this will be part of their practice routine down at the NCA. They'll practice all of the scenarios that they're likely to come across. So the 1 stone practice for for draw shot will be known to them.
Need to work this one a little more.
Certainly a tighter line than the practice.
From the hand that looked a little light. It's just coming fully into the 12 foot.
Sweepers didn't, they weren't quick to get on it, really. They didn't look like they were working it hard from the get-go, so maybe just need to be a little sharper, aware of the paths across the ice might be slightly slower.
So it will be Paulauskaite will have the hammer, regardless of how this one goes, that can be beaten. So this is just to make sure that you get a good number further in the competition if the other teams are tied.
I'm sure they'll be a bit like Team Locker in that there's bragging rights within the team for draw shot challenge performance. So you don't want to be the one that that lets the side down.
Playing for big stakes, forking out the money.
No, we never play for money. just pure bragging rights.
We used to do it for money.
That's the difference between boys and girls.
But bragging rights and money, of course.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're now ready to go with the second of these two draws. Looks like it's actually going to be Faye Henderson herself that's throwing the out turn.
Sweepers on it. On off, kind of.
Sweepers went on it early. Seem more relaxed about this one.
Wider line than the practice one had.
So here comes the curl now.
And sit down.
Runs a little hot as well, back of the forefoot, so yeah.
I guess that's the risk when one's been a little short. You just think I better give this a half time more.
So it'll be Henderson to go first. Paulauskaite will have the hammer ready to go in about 30 seconds or so once the umpires have measured all the stones across all the sheets.
No, it looked like earlier. He streamed us earlier and he said it was.
So we bored. Yeah. He came flying in and he said, do you want the coffee? Right now.
You weren't tempting enough. It wasn't making enough noise. It's tempting tomorrow, I'll tell you. It's very tempting. The first time she's been a wizard. Anything I look at you there.
Yeah, that's true.
There will have been great excitement, of course, in the Monroe household over the new year, with Robin's mum, Gail, being awarded an MBE for services to curling. That must have been
very good news and totally deserved. You know, Gail puts, or has put over the years, an enormous amount of effort into Scottish curling and international curling, but even more so Stranraer curling.
Absolutely. The curling rink in Stranraer, I think, would be, you know, I don't know if it would even be there without, you know, the work that Gail's put in. So she's made a massive difference to the young people and all of the curlers in that area. So a well-deserved and I'm sure much appreciated recognition of our work.
I saw her husband just before the game started in, so John's here, so maybe Gail's close by as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So we are underway. It's Team Henderson to go first. That's Katie McMillan.
I was like, oh, okay. He said, was it 4? He was like, no, I never said that.
His lead stones. They do have a 5-man team. It looks like they've utilising Lisa Davey today. So Katie McMillan gets us going.
Looks like it's going to run into the house there. Just into the back of the 8 foot. So perhaps a little deeper than she'd hoped to be, but corner guard being called here.
Ruta Blazieni that plays lead stones for this Lithuanian team. Talk about their achievements maybe later on, but came through the Europeans A division to qualify for the Women's Worlds.
Fabulous.
So I assume that this has been a late addition to their agenda getting into this.
Yeah.
They did very well at Thomson, Finland. I could talk about that later on. But great achievement, first time that they will have had the national representative at one of the major championships. So McMillan just looking to cover up this time. Stone at the back isn't very threatening.
No, they're working hard to bring that one into the front ring, perhaps. Be interesting to see how the tactics, you know, if perhaps the Lithuanian team are a little more defensive than some of the more experienced teams might be in the early stages of the game. But
they've got a youngish front end.
That's a nice hit and roll. The length of guard shouldn't cause too much of a problem though on our Perth ice. There, good chance maybe to get round behind there to
Yeah, I think so.
to
You
get
see,
to the
it's
red.
just probably pretty much on half length there, but also quite wide. So there should be a path for Henderson team to come round this. Hayley Duff, Olympic gold medalist, plays in this team now. Should be room to chase this and maybe even tuck underneath a little bit herself.
Yeah, relatively quiet weight coming down here and being swept well. I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, so gets the nose good ice reading because you don't get much practice good ice reading to get that one right.
Didn't get the roll under though, so I think it'll possibly an edge will be available for
Yeah, getting harder to tuck one
reds.
under now as you move
Yeah.
up the rings a little. You should be able to get a piece even if you roll back
towards the
towards the
centre.
centre for the time being. Miguel Kudita, number 2 for the Lithuanian team. I'm not convinced my pronunciations are totally correct, but
I'm going to let
best-
you
best
carry
I
on
can
with
do.
that. That was just maybe a little firmer, a little more weight behind that one than Hayley threw, and it just didn't move.
Yeah, took a lot less ice, but a lot more weight as well. Never really moved across. So Henderson lying well. Doesn't have the hammer, of course, so can't really put too much pressure on those stones. But trying to put in a good position now to force.
Yeah, I think a centre line front ring again likely to be the call here.
Sorry, Finlay. Sorry, excuse me. What about it? Do you think it's...
To work this one hard to get it to where you want it, right? Just
A little shorter than.
short there, short of the logo. So again, that's just about half length guard.
Oh, right, so she's here, right?
And didn't make it to centre line, so
Cutie does a chance to make amends. Looks like maybe just a couple of brushes less this time as well.
Right. Just assume that's her.
yeah, I think so. I think it's tightened up the ice. Certainly doesn't look like any less weight.
No, trying to move this one a little bit on the sweep.
They caught the edge this time.
Contact and rolls just a little far. So just runs to the second shot. So chance now Scotland now. Of course they've got a guard and room to get to the 4 foot.
Bird's first stone.
Robin Monroe moved into this team over the summer. It was Henderson won the Scottish Championship last year. Slightly different lineup. They've jiggled it around, brought Robin in to play third stones.
I guess that was option B. But
Yeah, just ran a fast one down there, so fortunately there's a red one to catch it.
it does give the Lithuanians something to back onto, and might make it a little more difficult to remove the red stone depending where it lands with the two kind of catchers in the back 8 there. But this looks like it's coming back.
Similar
Towards
line
it,
to Robin
yeah.
Monroe's here, isn't it?
It's
Just
a little high.
a little high, a little heavy. She pushes it through, so Henderson team still lie 1. Really want to if they can, stones are running out now a little. If they can hook one round into the dark blue part of the 4 foot that we're in, where the word Perth is.
Absolutely. Because then it's not easy to remove it on the in turn because you've got the
Catcher.
the clockwise because the catcher there.
Robin Monroe looking to take a bit of running off her last stone. What's top 4 foot would be ideal.
Looks like it's just about to start taking the draw now.
Yeah, much better throw. I think much
Absolutely
closer
perfect.
to what they were looking for. This one looks really good now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Pretty much where you wanted it there, Alan.
Paulauskaite is sensing some danger. Wants the guard away.
Yeah, it's kind of late in the end to be, I think, but clearing guards. But we'll see how that may well work out well for them. I guess if this guard doesn't go on perfectly, then they've maybe got a relatively straightforward double to be line 2.
So I didn't think that guard was too threatening to do. It was quite long, so unless you don't know the ice, I guess either hand was available to come around and just tap that yellow one away. Get your space that way. So.
It must be, they're not expecting a huge draw on this hand, taking well inside the 8 foot there for a guard weight, or certainly maybe close to front ring, I would think they'll be.
Certainly Robin Monroe, and this is the great name here, Olga Dvoy-Glazhova. That's her name. I'm going to stick with that. I know you're bailing
Sounds
out by going
good
with
to me.
Olga.
I'm just going with Olga. And hoping that she doesn't think that's overfamiliar.
But we did see 2 stones did run straight down this line.
They didn't
it was
move
just a touch
too much.
heavy as course as well.
That's right. Robin's second stone took a nice draw, sort of from halfway from the logo in. So we'll see how this one runs. It's running a little straight at the moment, but it will finish.
Just finish down, probably around about where that logo is.
Yeah, all the draw in the last sort of couple of feet of running there.
Yeah, they took off the previous guard. It wasn't that threatening, and this one's now
This
perfect.
one's in a better position, so she's made it a little tougher for herself, I think, than she needed to. And it's still, we've still got, I don't know, 4 feet maybe from the guard to the house, so there will be a little bit of movement. Coming round there at back ring
just bump it
might
back.
just
Put
allow
yellow.
you to get shot and move it out of the.
Put some yellow catchers at the back as well. So if you did lie, it would be tough for Henderson to remove, and it would have created the space that they were looking for.
You could certainly make a good second shot and do some, have something to work with. So that's what she's obviously thinking herself.
So, but she's now ignoring the guard. She's now trying to play the draw to the 1 foot round the cover to lie shot, which if she makes it, great result. But the tariff is much higher.
Yeah. This is her first stone, so maybe she thinks she's going to end up having to throw a draw with her second stone, so giving herself the luxury of a.
She can afford to be a little heavy with this, so that if it came round to the back of the 4 foot, she's got a yellow catcher. Line looks really tight on this one. You see the sweeper at the top of the picture.
Yeah, this maybe and light for weight potentially, I think. So we're gonna chip that guard. And the weight wouldn't have been bad.
Yeah,
Just
the
all in the
line call.
line.
Yeah. Henderson, I think we'll be happy to put another guard back there. There's a bit of tolerance here because the yellow on the left hand side will protect that line.
Yeah, she maybe wants to. She might be happy to show that outside edge just to protect the turn that the Virginia just threw. So.
Henderson
on its way, but
replicating her last stone. So Robin seems to indicate this one's running wider. That's maybe just on that one line that
yeah,
having difficulty reading. But if they keep sweeping,
starting
keep
to
it moving,
move a little bit now, and even if they could,
scrape off that other
yeah,
one.
a little rub off. It's ended up in a reasonable spot.
Yeah, I like that
Probably
spot there.
wanted another half stone roll, I think.
So the threat of catching on this left bottom red one is real now. They can't come at this too fast. He's just playing the draw to the 1 foot on this side.
Yeah, which, the short red could now be a problem too, because if you're if you're on the inside of that short of the house, the way the stones finish, you could definitely be struggling to get past the yellow in the 4 foot.
Moved the ice out a little bit, so this is cutting the weight, so this has to come even further now. I like the weight that she threw the last time. So last stone of the first end, Paulauskaite, facing 2 yellow Henderson counters, needs to hit 1 foot.
Certainly looking for it to curl, but
Both sweepers on now. This is really good for line. You can afford to feather the yellow and still stop. Or is it going to be on the 1 foot?
ooh,
Cuts it down.
Cut it down.
Pretty good attempt. It hit the yellow they were trying to draw around. The weight was good. If
yeah,
it got
just
round, it would come to
yeah,
that back.
yeah.
So, I think that's a pretty good attempt facing 2 first end without having had really many practice shots. So it's Henderson who steals first end. They lead 1-0.
Henderson, I think, will be happy with how the first end went there. They were able to, dictate play, even though their first stone went deeper than they would have liked. They kind of got away with that.
They played a really good bump weight around the guard,
Yeah.
which the Lithuanian second didn't manage to follow, and then it was Henderson's team that were controlling the end. So they'll be happy. They got the steal. It could have been a force, which would have been good for them too. But, they lead 1-0. They will go first, so that'll be Katie McMillan starts off again N2. Happy to put the first stone into the rings. It'll be difficult, I suppose, because Henderson plays on the established circuit, and therefore when you do that, you play a lot of teams a lot of times, and you kind of know each other's strengths and weaknesses. I don't think they will probably played each other before, these two teams. I don't think the Lithuanian team do play much on the European circuit. So when you drop one into the 1 foot there, you really no idea what the opposition's going to. Are they going to hit? Are they going to draw?
Yeah, they went with their corner guard in the first end as well, so and nearly made good use of it with a nice hit and roll, but just the guards probably a little short.
This one looks
that
a bit
one's
better.
yeah,
It's a bit
that's
closer,
yeah,
and a bit,
that
therefore a
one's
bit
not so
nearer
bad.
the middle as well, protecting the edge of the 8 foot there. It's always that dilemma, isn't it? You get a good guard, which you can come around if you get it right. The closer that guard is to the rings, the maybe the easier it is for the opposition to drive it up. So
Yeah.
there's a sort of Goldilocks spot on the ice of where you want your guards to be.
And it's, we often kind of wonder, how many times do you get the chance to use your corners? It's interesting, and it will be interesting to see how this unfolds, but they did try and use their corner in that first end. So we'll see. That I think is probably a little shorter than Henderson's team would have.
Yeah, they look like that really tight when they just outside
Yeah.
the top 12 would be ideal there. So
That
room here.
that
so
offers little protection to that one in there.
quite a quiet weight there. So much ice they were taking. We saw in the practice draws that the ice they took there was for the 1 foot. So this is hyper aggressive. This trying to free stones behind the tee. So early in the end.
Maybe just a little short of weight, but the fact it's overdrawn is probably
Keep
quite
it a little
helpful.
lighter and therefore drew more. So it's
yeah.
actually got behind this guard. And it's neither a corner or a centre. It's just a guard. They got behind it okay. Henderson.
Haley being asked to come round again, probably top of the 4, do you think? Just
top 4, or would you sort of corner freeze on the red one that's just there, use that as a sort of double protector on the stagger?
Yeah, but I guess you've got. I think you'll see the red on the outside of the guard. So if you're, not covering the tap, maybe. Is crossing that centre line quite.
Round, so just feathers the guy, rolls in between the 2 shots we both nominated. The right weight.
So I think they must have been hoping to come round.
I think certainly by the time it was coming down, they're looking to come down, maybe just show sort of 3/4.
Yeah.
Because it just bounced open.
Those are the tricky ones, aren't they? Because your sweepers are saying the weight's kind of there, but that's where the communication between sweepers and person in the head is so vital, because
still hammering that for a line at the end.
Yeah, the foot of a bump or 6 inches of it can make all the difference to the success of the shot.
So yellows are tight together, so chance for a double takeout.
Just a little either high or heavier than it needed to be, which would be the same issue in the first end. So perhaps the second and the skip are just the ice and weight combo is just not
quite right yet.
Quite working.
So that red one was touched out to the right the last time. So if they were to play the tap, the angle's harder, but there's obviously a lot more of it showing. So and this time I'll just try and line up behind the yellow guard.
I think this one, once they start to near that centre line, there's a big pull.
So it's not terribly useful there for Henderson team, I don't think.
No, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I would hope she's not. Well, yeah, she is. This is very strange.
It's not required, really, is it?
No.
We know she can see that yellow.
And what does removing this top one actually?
Yeah, are you trying to get both yellows away here? Or?
I don't. She didn't seem to be looking for both. I mean,
I'm fairly certain if you came down, you would and sat in the hack, you'd see a piece of the shot stone.
Absolutely, and certainly at back ring weight, back 8 weight, you could. Yeah.
What's happened there? She's touched the stone.
Yeah, it was going to hit that one. I'm not altogether sure why that one was stopped.
Oh my goodness, right, we'll try and unravel that now.
I think that was
I think it was going to crash.
Yeah, it
into
was.
That red.
Then it would have come back over towards.
We'll never really kind of know whether it was going to come back or. It certainly wasn't. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well,
so.
Yeah. I think we were catching kind of a inside quarter of that, which probably would have run it back towards the
full stone worst case scenario. Ended up putting one further out the rings there. Anyway, I don't know whether she just wasn't aware that there was a red there. She was obviously trying to protect the side sheet, and there was a little lack of concentration. So. Because it was in the live zone, it was Henderson's choice as to what to do with it.
This one's certainly moving now, and lovely weight.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Just comes down, little nice 2 yellows there, just touches the red there. Makes it difficult.
That, but you know, absolutely given the chance to do
to
that
do
on a
that,
plate.
yeah.
You know, there was, yeah, that was a very strange call, I think. But I'm sure the team, if they're going to the Worlds, they'll have a coach over with them this weekend, Alan. Do you think, or you know, someone helping them hopefully, and you know, they'll learn from.
Certainly had a coach at the Europeans. I don't know whether they've come with that coach. I've not seen him in the crowd so far, but
It's a little high, but it might get.
not too bad result.
No,
It
a
uses
slightly
her own
fortunate
ride,
result. Yeah.
yeah, they think. I mean, they're clearly going to Worlds. They know they're not going to win the Worlds, but it's just a matter of getting better at that, that stage as well. But I think World Curling will throw them a curveball with the first one. They've got Team Canada first up.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that'll be, yeah, a baptism of fire,
Correct.
perhaps. Well, you've got to play them at some point, so.
Yeah, they might be cold as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
But, well, on the assumption that it's Team Home, and that would be a pretty tough start, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So again, Team Henderson would like to play all the attacking shots here.
Yeah. That does maybe draw a little further than, you know, they would have hoped, so.
Yeah, they'd like that top.
You'd like to think that they're going to.
Lock one in.
Yeah, I think that's 2 stones later than they are. At least 2 stones later than they should have, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a good chance now, though. They've got
Yeah.
a little bit of backing, even if they were to rest beside the second stone. I don't think Henderson will be able to get it out with 1 stone.
No, that was just a little deeper or wider than they would have wanted from Robin.
With backing, you never want these ones to be short. Stones to come to.
This is just a little heavier.
This one's too heavy for the job. Runs by and out the back.
Yeah, that was a good chance, and unfortunate just to be a little heavier than required.
Henderson just looking to protect this pocket now. I think she can come up top 8, maybe top 12. But wide in the centre line area.
Yeah, yeah. I think I might be tempted to be thinking top 12. I think this team likes to hit,
12,
so
centre line,
yes. So we'll see. Cut down the, you know, and also if it's out there at the top of the 12, there's that again. The wide red makes it, you know, difficult to play the draw.
Yeah.
So having a look about what's available. It's on its way, and
Working it for length.
yeah,
I
it
think.
looks like it's going to be.
It's going to act as a blocker.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
quite in the right zone, but it's going to act as a blocker to just get that
A
little
wee
bite.
nibbler.
Just.
Yeah, yeah. I think that does allow
Path still
the draw
there.
round again,
Yeah.
though. That might have been better being left shorter and just, you know, it would have been further, you know,
Further
more
out to
on
the
the
left,
centre
yeah,
line
yeah.
and would have cut down the path, I think, a little more. But they have, you know, they have the skip facing 3, so that's probably. Weight wasn't too bad in the last end, so she should feel
Yeah, she's
fairly
she's got quite a lot of
confident.
room here as
Yeah.
well. There's a big scoring zone there, anything.
Yeah,
Anything
she
beating
can be
one
fully in the
back.
front of the forefoot or sitting on that back one and have
Yeah.
a chance. I'm going to need to be getting the stopwatch out in a minute
Yeah,
to
I
check
think,
the
so
pace of the ice here, but it's
third's quite a useful person to watch because she always tells you where the stone's been thrown, so she that you're wide. But this was coming up short. I think sweeper's not in play yet. Just see it at the top of the rings.
yeah. Okay, well,
Oh, it's going to be tricky, isn't it? No matter
it's
where
difficult
Henderson
now.
puts this.
Yeah. Henderson will want to guard the tap on
Yeah,
that
I
one.
think that's
so-
all that Paulauskaite have left, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's hard to get through that out-turn port unless
The-
she thinks she's out.
Coming round the wide side would be.
Swinging in from right to left.
I mean, I guess it's not a daft because you can rub off the one up sitting almost on the tee, or you could throw around. But tough shots either way coming up for Virginia, I think.
Henderson can allow this one to be quite short, I think, as long as you're protecting that red one, the correct portion of the red one.
Even level with the logos, further back than
Yeah. Just be careful you don't actually line the shot up for your opposition by taking it too close. The classic over and up call.
Yes,
Over and up.
absolutely.
Get it over and then you can stop.
That looks to be,
That's ideal there.
yeah, it's good there. So I wouldn't fancy the draw through that port, I don't think.
That's a really tough shot, I think.
I'd be more tempted to try round these yellows. If you ignored the two in the forefoot, you would think that there's a draw to the button kind of round there.
Should be
On the
so the yellow guard,
clockwise,
the
yeah.
middle yellow guard is your problem one, isn't it? Get around that, and you should be getting close to the edge of the 1 foot probably.
I think so.
This is a tough line.
I don't like this at all.
This requires well-rehearsed sweep. If you go this way, you require well-rehearsed sweepers who know
Yeah.
line call.
You've got to
line
keep
call,
it out and then hope to
yeah,
carve.
This is one for the pro curler side, I think.
That'd be why I like the other one.
You've got pro
Very
cur-
much
you've
the
got pro curler
we've got
sweepers
we've
in
got
your team.
good sweepers. Yeah. Katie and Wendy are well
know,
on it with the sweeping.
Wendy put me to shame that competition we played at there. Then
She absolutely did. I think she shoved you out of the way a good couple of times.
Barely broke a sweat. That was broken.
Yeah, we're fortunate with them. They make Jackie look good.
Well, that's why Skip's choosing those type of players.
Yeah.
So,
Excuse me.
we've seen Paulauskaite and Glazia will have a look at a few options here. They're trying to play this out-turn draw through the gap.
Yeah.
And I think they've got quite a lot of room on this edge of the forefoot. The problem is that the path to get there is so difficult to navigate.
Yeah, I guess if they're close to that outside red, then there's a good chance. But if they're off that outside red by more than a couple of inches, I think they're really going to struggle to get round the close red.
So last stone, second end, facing 3.
Oh, that needs to draw to get off the red, and it's just
inside
not.
that.
No,
It's just not coming at all. No, the sweeper couldn't move.
that's
that.
the line where they struggled with it, just being maybe a little straighter.
So difficult there. So I think that looks like a steal of 3 for Henderson. 2 ends played, they will lead 4-0. Alright, it looks a bit of a struggle for Lithuania against a much more experienced Scottish team.
Absolutely. I think the stone placement has just not been quite there for Lithuania, and a couple of strange calls.
Decisions making.
To peel the long guard there was effectively the waste of a stone and let Henderson get round again.
And they burnt that stone. She stopped it crashing into that red stone she just hit.
Yes.
So we don't think that
That
stone
red
was meant
stone
to be
wouldn't have
there.
been there, I don't think.
Anyway,
but
so
yeah. It is what it is. But yeah, a tough
start.
Yeah. So on the other sheets we have Callie Suter from Scotland playing Peterson from USA, and we've got 2-0. Do you think there? I think the second end score would appear to be 2-0. And then on sheet F we have Team Lucerne against Team China, and that's 2-1 for Lucerne. And young Cara Thomson's rinked from Perth, local interest here, playing Rorvik from Norway, and that is 2-1 after 2 ends. So the young Perth team are on the board and looking good in this end here, trying to tap back a yellow to line 2. So lots of
Yeah, it's a very strong field in the women's event. Actually, the men have clashed with a big spiel in Canada, but European women's team here on the circuit, so it's good to see. Always nice to see international curlers on our home rink.
It is. It's great for the people of Perth to be able to come in and watch the games live, but also to have this facility where no matter where you are in the world you can watch the live stream.
Both on Perthmasters.com website and I believe now on YouTube.
If
you want to be seeing more of the coverage that we can provide you this week, go onto YouTube, look up Perth Masters, subscribe, and then you'll be notified as every game goes live. And you get to watch live curling.
The wonder of technology. So Lithuania are sticking with their game plan of the corner guards. So we'll see.
Guards still just a little short actually. They would be one that closer. You have to like to come round this themselves now.
Yeah, they're probably looking for top 4.
So this is first end we saw stones take a long time to curl from this path. Some didn't even curl at all.
Perfect weight and just we'll see if that develops as the game goes on, but it's certainly a straighter line than perhaps.
Both the Robin and Olga's stones were pretty hard.
Yeah, they were kind of back ring weight, weren't they, that came down in.
Again, team are looking to hit the front one and then roll in behind the corner already. The corner's in a nice position, it's usable there.
Yeah, they made this shot nicely in the first end, so I guess they know the ice, they know the weight. But even if this one came onto the face, I don't think that's too big of a disaster that they're now closer to that yellow. It changes the look.
Yeah, Henderson now kind of knows this. They'll leave the guard out there.
Yeah.
So they can just hit this. Roll to there, just where she's standing, just a couple of feet of roll to the right.
Yeah, I think against this team, Henderson can maybe change their tactic or adapt their tactics a little bit, and I think that for them to have yellows in the house and force the issue is probably really quite important.
4-point buffer already certainly helps.
Yeah. I think hitting and rolling and leaving nothing here is not a great result. I think if they can hit and leave their yellow probably almost anywhere, it's another, that potentially wasn't.
Yeah, that one curled a long way on them, end up taking out both stones in the ring, so it gives QD a free draw this time.
And this has been where the second has struggled a little bit, hasn't she? With her weight just being a little bit heavier. So we'll see if she manages to find draw weight here. She's certainly got lots of room.
sweepers are kind of disengaged. Never a good sign.
Nope. No, and it's really got to be better than that when you're
This level,
Yeah.
you're going to get found
4-0 down. You've got to be able to keep that stone in play somewhere.
I know sometimes you can play the Perthmasters on ice as a little lightning fast.
Yes. Yes.
You're probably faster than everything you've played on before. It doesn't feel like it's running as quickly as that.
No, it
today.
doesn't. It doesn't look super fast. I will endeavour again to try and get a time on it, but we'll see what we're getting here.
Another free shot for Team Henderson.
Yeah.
Too many questions. It's coming right around the wide side of this guard though.
Very kindly throwing us a draw so that we can get a time
your
for
time
the
draw.
ice. Mm-hmm. Okay. So actually, maybe it is pretty quick.
What time did
Got
you get?
14.95
Just
on
under
that.
15. So
Yeah.
that's the time between the two hog lines. 15 seconds, more or less.
With user error accounted for.
Plus or minus.
Yeah.
Again, we've got another free
We
draw.
should
You
get
get
an- yeah,
a
I'll
second,
get-
second by the cherry here.
See if I can do any
Different
better.
player, of course.
But that's the joy of the hog to hog, isn't it? That
Should be.
Yeah.
Should be. They're trying to achieve that consistency across the team.
it certainly looks nearer the. Certainly, I think a bit short. Yeah.
The line was ideal, but it just comes up short
Yeah.
again.
I was not good on that one. But a much better effort. You know, it's good to see that you have a stone in play now that Team Henderson have to do something with. You know, throwing it through the back is of no help to. So even though it's shorter, it's at least causing Henderson
Yeah.
a problem.
Thought Henderson might just continue to come around the guard herself. Maybe she worried about this one. So trying to carve this one now. It's just going to click it.
Yeah,
Away it goes.
good enough, but doesn't really. That they would want to do more with that.
Yeah.
That was so close to the house that should have really been a hit and roll into the rings.
If you're in this deep,
Yeah.
deep corner over here.
I think so. And another draw for me to make a mess of timing.
Yeah, another free draw. Devoy Galazheva. I've been told Devoy Galazheva means two eyes in Russian. Interesting fact for you.
Two eyes are usually better than one.
Inside the line on this throw, I think all the way down though. Crashes into the guard.
Yeah, weight might have made it to the front
The
ring
weight looked good actually. I think if you see that's moved those stones quite far, so that was
at 15.95.
another chance. Robin Monroe going this time.
The sweeper's lurking, but not doing
Jumped on
anything
it.
this far.
Going to come around the wide side of this yellow guard. The line looks really nice now.
Yeah. I like to be able to give it a little sweep for curl, but just probably.
Runs on. Being very critical, runs on a little deep, but 15.6. It's quite quick, isn't it?
I would say it is. Yeah. It doesn't. It doesn't particularly look it from But then when you're up here, it is difficult, isn't it? Got to be down there to get the real feel for it. But yeah,
So
pretty speedy. Oh, she's back peeling guards.
she doesn't like guards, does
She
she?
doesn't. She doesn't like a guard. But I don't particularly like her peeling them.
You can see a little bit of this stone on the intern.
Yeah,
Making it
this-
back 4-weight,
Yep,
I think.
I think that shot would have been there.
Yeah, but, if you peel this guard, you must be rolling this runner into the rings. You've got to get 2 jobs done with this one, so
Yeah.
and roll behind your cover.
We're maybe getting the double though, so
That's a good,
a good bad one.
yeah, good prize, good secondary prize there. Over curled really on them.
Yeah, they're just not putting enough pressure on Henderson here. Team Henderson are getting to play any shot they like
Yeah, I
with
think
very little
So if
pressure.
you're going to peel that guard, you have to get your shooter running in behind either of these 2 corner reds. Then the hen is either chasing it on a path they don't necessarily know, or playing a guard on the one in the rings.
As we said it earlier though, this is just a little bit of inexperience,
Absolutely.
and the teams that they were maybe playing so they came through the Euro Bs to the Euro A's, or
Well, yeah, they played Euro Bs, I think, last year, I think it was, and then got promoted. So the Euro Bs, which were here
Yeah.
in Perth. And then they got promoted up to the A division. And there was a 3-way tie at the bottom between Lithuania, Estonia, and Hungary,
right?
and they'd all beaten each other. But Lithuania had the best draw of the shots, so they went through an 8 slot, which top 8 go to Women's Worlds.
Yeah. Oh, and there we've got this wider line again that
Yeah.
we're just not getting the finish.
The,
Good weight. But
the Estonian skip had a shot to beat Team Switzerland, Terzoni. And missed it. He got the sweeping call wrong.
and you're not going to get too many options to do that.
Spilled off in 10, and Lithuania went through on the last stone draw averages. It's very tense.
That's
tense in the arena in Finland. That
yeah.
day.
That's what we were saying earlier. It's so important to the draw shot now, because it can't. Well, it is. It's the difference between qualifying and
relegation in that case.
Yes,
The other 2
of
teams that didn't
course.
go to Worlds got relegated back to Bs for next year. That's how fine a margin that was at the bottom end of the table.
yeah. That's for a couple of centimetres probably.
That's
that's
what it was. Or just that
a
one.
big prize or a
The super,
yeah. Wow.
the Estonian sweeping call on their last stone. It's hard to watch. So anyway, Lithuania were the beneficiaries. They're here to learn. Step up in the calibre of competition they may be playing at home.
This looks again just that line.
Yeah, trying to get
Catching them
carving.
out.
You can almost see that one running back a
Yeah,
little bit.
I think the sweeping isn't helping actually. You find that sometimes down these slightly straighter lines that actually putting the brush anywhere near it isn't the worst thing you can do. Sometimes you just have to.
Yeah, it just looked like it's
to
probably,
hope that it's
probably
gonna-
from release. You think that
Yep.
one would be just squared away with extra running?
So what do you do if you're Team Henderson? Do you come round that same line, maybe just half round, or do you give them that straight line again and try and put something towards the centre? They're electing to come.
I think you
Down
come
the
round.
same
You
line,
can,
yep.
if you get on somewhere on the diagonal line between the guard at the front and the yellow stone, maybe just show a piece of both those yellows. I don't like using the phrase Christmas tree, but if you make a Christmas tree out of this one, use it now because it's the appropriate time of year.
It is the appropriate time of year.
So they show a piece of the yellow playing, a piece of the yellow that's there, then force it Paulauskaite again play through traffic out front.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she could, depending, she's got the whole of the 4 foot off the
Those
other.
are scary ones, like when you're sticking away from the middle.
Yeah,
Ingrained in that you draw to the middle, you're trying to come across and draw away to the side.
Just very difficult to come past that top.
You can
The
almost
high
come through the right
red.
court and maybe
Yes,
get edge your
I think
foot
that's
that way.
yeah, and that's the hand that I would have been playing if the indigo. So
So This one looks like a nice line, doesn't it?
I don't know if it's just that bit wider again, but the weight's perfect, so that should help it just to start to pull.
Lock it on together. So
Yeah, no, that's
nice.
yeah,
So
good there.
Lithuania can't
Tough.
make a play on that hand at all now because would run away from the side, away to the side.
Are they going to do the brave call, or are they coming to... They've got a port either way. Ooh.
In-turn port coming.
Yeah.
There's two ports there. Coming through this left-hand one, you're fighting the curl.
Oh, absolutely.
Whereas if you go through the wider one, it looks harder shot, but you're playing with the curl.
Yes.
Natural port on the right-hand side.
Yeah, if there were no stones out there, you wouldn't... Well, there are stones out there, so you've got to think that... Yeah, I don't hold out a great deal of hope for this. This is a tricky line.
So facing another two Scottish counters, Paulauskaite.
Sweeper's on it straight away.
4 foot.
Looks...
Kind of come through this middle port.
Still moving,
there.
but I think it were light. Yeah.
It is light. It's going to catch the guard we were most worried about.
Yeah.
Really
That was a really tough line. Yeah. Yeah.
So Team Henderson steal another 2. So they will now lead 6-0 after 3 ends. And it's an awful long way back now for Team Lithuania.
It is, because at the moment they don't look like they're really challenging. So I think that perhaps the tactic of the corner guard maybe just has to maybe they have to try something a little different. So
Just use it.
Either that, ignore what's going on in the centre. Certainly stop ripping guards that aren't causing them any bother really, and just try and get a few more stones in play. I think that's their real... They just haven't had the stones in the house to make the use of.
Quite a tough. They are in a tough group. Henderson, very strong last year's Scottish women's champions. Schwaller, strong Swiss team. Hence the 2 easier games after that, without dismissing Archibald and Bjornstad. So this is a tough start for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Lithuania, I think every game's maybe going to be
a challenge.
But they're here to get the experience, and it's tough. But the Worlds isn't going to be any easier. That's for sure.
No, that's a tough gig. That's a tough gig.
Yeah.
But the Europeans is tough. Women's Worlds in Korea will be equally difficult.
Team Henderson going
Into the rings.
deep into the house again a little. Perfect.
Don't need to be taking too many chances now.
The other games are a little closer. Schwaller versus Bjornstad as 2-0 to Schwaller. Then we've got Morrison versus Hurleman, which is 2-2 after 3 ends. Then we have Thomson versus Rorvik. I can't see if there's a score behind. Well, that's 4-1 at the moment. And then Lucerne v China are 2-1 up for Lucerne, and Suter versus Peterson is 2-1 to Peterson. So the other games are a little closer than our feature game this afternoon has ended up being so far. But things can change. Oh, I looked away and missed what happened there. Do you think it was too heavy or hogged?
It was hogged.
Okay. So we have had a change of
Yes, it's been
tactic in going for the freeze, which I think is,
all guns blazing now.
well, I think she had to try something a little different. And actually, if she ends up freezing either stone, Henderson are going to have to, Team Henderson are going to have to do something about it. So. Wee bit wider line here, so
Just trying to pull this one down onto the one on the 1 foot.
just
It's a shame the weight was absolutely perfect, wasn't it?
yeah,
Just couldn't get that curl. It's a difficult line to hit in that state.
Again, maybe the sweeper's a little bit, if they had left it shorter, it was, bringing it level wasn't really helpful at that point. So I think that just a wee bit more experience. The red's not going to hang around for very long. That's a nice stone.
Yeah, they wanted to keep that one swept so they didn't create a basket for Lithuania to freeze against.
But they controlled it enough so that they're still leaving it in the house, which is yet more pressure on the Lithuanians. They're seeing another yellow stone kind of building.
Yeah, this is a slime that's not getting any easier.
No.
As I say, even if you freeze on the top yellow, particularly with this was a catcher now, you could get one that just squirms over there. So if you've not got the perfect shot, make the best of what you get.
So this one looks quite a bit shorter, so if they manage to drag it to the house to sit on that top one, I think they might just about manage that. Just a little short.
Have to come back from 6-0, so
In an 8-end game,
Yeah.
when all of the play has been,
I'm sure the objectives now are to sort of run different scenarios and see if we can, this is how we create a 2, this is how we defend a 1. We probably can't overturn a 6-0 gap, but we can come away with this. Even if we win 2 out of the next 4 ends, something like that.
Although, we say it's a tough call, and it is, but if they make their 2 here, then take control of the end, manage maybe a wee steal.
Actually,
Once you get to 6, if you could get to 6-3, then, the momentum turns then, doesn't it? But
that's for
actually
sure.
to get a 2 here
So
will be...
You get your 2 and then get your guards up.
Yeah.
You get 3 guards. There might be 3 Scottish
That's
guards
it.
when you come to play your number 4 stone, but you're creating problems at the moment.
Yeah,
There's
they're
not enough
real
problems
challenges to make their 2, and I don't think that that's necessarily going to happen when you're ripping guards. But well, I guess they're running a red one in, so they could end up with a red guarded, but it will be lying maybe 3rd or 4th shot.
You're being a little kinder than I am.
Again, they've moved things around, and
That's the
actually
best
it has
they've done,
improved.
actually.
Yeah.
So they've got rid of the centre guard, they've got a corner which is covering something they could freeze on.
Yeah.
So
But I think they just need to, the percentages would not be high play-wise for Lithuania at the moment, so they really need to just actually make some of the shots that they're calling.
yeah, this is a better chance now though.
Yeah.
Even if Henderson, even if Monroe stood for Henderson comes and lies well, at least there's something that you can
work
use
with.
now. You can hit and roll to the corner, you can freeze the corner and maybe get a double later.
Yeah, and this is coming quite deep into the 4 foot, so if they get a chance to freeze on here, or they're going for their hit and roll, but that's again not an awful lot of ice, so probably a little more weight than maybe a more experienced team would play.
Yeah, if you wanted to roll out to the right, it's quite flat, of course. But,
Yeah. Just to give them a little more control over the stone, you know, we've seen the impact that sweeping can make,
Yeah.
but it really needs the
So you're kind of
slightly lower.
carve the stone
Yeah.
onto it. I think it's just going to flick it off and run.
Again, probably just, I think, a little heavier than they probably needed to throw, or the accuracy wasn't there with the brush play.
You know, sometimes you have to think just a little bit more creatively. There's a chance almost to come around that one that was there and freeze on that sort of one at the back of the 8 foot. That would have been hard for Henderson to get rid of.
Yeah, and then they choose to throw shorter to protect the one in the 4
Yeah.
foot. They don't make that quite right, then you've got a little tap
Yeah.
there. So yeah, you're right. You have to work with what you've got, but just at these up weights, I don't think are gonna help them. They're gonna have a different line to play down this
That one's
time.
overcurled, or not overcurled, they've chosen to play it down a different line, so the angles are not quite so great for Lithuania now. When it was on the centre tape, it was a relatively
Yeah.
easy roll, and now this is a yard further over.
Sticking with the hit and roll. Maybe a little more ice, a little less weight.
Right in the centre line,
Yeah.
so they are seeing
It
stones
should move
come
off,
that.
yeah. Oh.
Hold this for a
they're-
line to get the roll.
I think just. Well, you know, that was a nicer weight, I think.
Yeah, that was.
And it, you know, half of the objective was met. They've moved it over a little bit. They've given Faye a different line to look at. But I don't know if it'll cause too many problems. I guess at this point, a nose hit Faye would probably be reasonably happy with. She might want to roll over to the other side of the 8 foot.
I think
Or-
she'd be happy with just nosing it. It's probably not even. It's not too much of a disaster even if she was to take the yellow one out from behind it. You know, give
Yeah.
nothing to freeze against.
Quite happy with this one,
Yeah,
not too furious sweeping.
Hold this
You
one
just-
right in
yeah.
line.
Rolled back over to that kind of similar spot when it was in, so. Persisting with the hit.
Yeah, again, could you use the stones behind third there? If you could do something of those. I feel that Henderson would probably put a garden if you left that unattended, but
I think I might be tempted to try the freeze though.
corner
I think
freeze, this one, even the nose freeze,
Yeah.
and then give yourself something. Just pushing this away. You expect that Henderson's going to have an open hit, which she doesn't even need to land if she doesn't want to. She just gets rid of a
Yeah,
counter.
absolutely. I mean, Henderson would be quite happy to lose a 1 here. Get last stone.
Yeah. Trying to hold this one for line. This one's curling
that's
a lot.
curling. A bit more than they had hoped, but yeah.
Yeah,
To be fair-
just a little bump there.
Yeah.
You would have
Yeah.
had 3 stones at the back to
To act as catchers.
if it was to go wrong for Henderson. Getting rid of that W, it looks like nice. I've got a double take out, but I still haven't really cranked up the pressure on Henderson yet.
But I guess for Virginia, she has had some really tricky shots to play, you know, draws through narrow ports, through ports which we weren't sure were even there to.
Correct, it's
So
physically not
she may
possible.
be quite fancied a straightforward,
Nose
you know,
hit
if I
for
hit
one.
this, she hits me, I hit her again, we've scored, we're on the board, we can then maybe try and dictate
we can
the
breathe a bit.
yeah, dictate play by putting the first stones where we want them. So maybe that's where that one came from. I'm certainly wanting this one to carve, but I think it has drawn enough.
Should be
now.
enough now. They'll hold the yellow almost right in line again.
Yeah. So an open hit to get on the board and settle their nerves and let them kind of change the ends. But it doesn't do an awful lot to bite into the 6-0 lead.
The match situation. But yeah, this is a nice one to get. These are tricky shots, mind you, when you've not scored. And you've got multiple counters, you can't afford to.
And it's not an awful lot of ice coming off that centre line where it will move.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Paulauskaite again facing multiple counters. Last stone off the fourth end. Nose hit for a 1. Register something with the scorekeeper. Holding this for a line. Can't afford to go cut across it because the yellow could jam. So it wants to get the nose.
Moving a little more than
Takes the double, rolls out. They score the 1. Well done, well played stone.
That elusive roll that they've been looking for all end.
Give her some credit because those are nerve janglers. Those
Absolutely.
Ones, but, she scores 1. Chips a bit of the lead, but Scotland's team Henderson still leads 6-1. 4 ends played.
Yeah, Team Henderson will be quite relaxed about that, I would think. Get last stone back again, build a multiple score here, and just kind of
Control the game.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Round robin games, and they must play 6 in the round robin.
Which sometimes feels like a lot of ends when you're on the receiving end of the score line. The girls are back on again. The women are back on again at what time tomorrow? They won't have another game tonight, I don't think.
07:30.
Oh,
British
luckily
time.
for us, we're not. We're not in the box for that
Not
game.
involved in that one. No call-offs by the fellow commentating team.
No, I think I'll switch my phone off.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, there's one more game tonight, obviously on both the Perthmasters.com website or on YouTube, if that's where you've picked this up. There's men's games on all 8 sheets at 8 o'clock UK time, and then 4 games tomorrow: 7:30, 10:45, 2 p.m. and 5:15. All being broadcast live in the same way. So hopefully you're enjoying this. It's great to bring you this live coverage of the Mercure Intel Perthmasters 2025. Long-time sponsors of the Perthmasters.
It's a wonderful sponsorship that all the organising committee of over all these many years have been grateful for. It's so important for Perth to have a big competition like this, and for it to be in the calendar every year.
Yeah.
A lot of teams come back year after year, and it's unfortunate this year that as you said earlier, it kind of clashes with the date of a slam in Canada, but ordinarily the field here is second to none, and it's still a strong field in both.
This is a strong field, the men's events.
Men's and women's
two
event.
teams that have played slams. You've got at least 2 teams that played slams, Ramswell, Craig. Waddle, they've played at slams.
Yep.
I just outside the top 16 for the next one, so this one's next on their list. Plus teams that are getting ready for men's worlds: the Chinese men's team, Chinese women's team, Japanese men's team. They're here for serious practice.
Yep. No, it's a great start to their second half of the season to have a competition early, and something in Europe. It's not everybody that can travel to Canada time and time again throughout the season, so it's
for the women's side in Europe. The European tour is not as strong in terms of number of events. I don't think of this calibre as it used to be. So this is a key part of the calendar for these teams now. 3 stones played. We got almost a centre guard.
Yeah.
And Scotland ran a little deep, so there's a chance Blasieni to come round. Pretty close.
Already this is a better setup for the Lithuanian team. if we have a look back over the other sheets, we've got Hurlem and Stowell, a 1 in the fourth end. So they are leading Morrison 3-2 currently. Rorvik, I don't know what happened in that. That innings just finished, but so there'll be a score to go up there. Peterson took another 2 from Suter, so they are at 4-1. And Team Lucerne versus Team China, I think it will be 3 apiece, is it? Or 3-1?
I think there's a blank end in 3, I think.
Okay, so this is looking fairly promising for Team Lithuania at the moment. We've got a centre guard from Team Henderson, which is not where they would, I think, want it at the moment, and there is a red there on the button, so I think another guard being called.
Yeah, I think a little mistake by Haley Duff, I think.
Just a little short.
Well, she pushed the red guard in.
Of
When
course,
11
of course.
o'clock was pushed in, and that's why there's a yellow centre guard out the front there. So
We've already got a more interesting end.
Lag one and playing, which is a luxury. They've not
That's
had.
not something we've. Did she trip on another stone? They are keen to touch as many stones as they can in the house.
I'll just retire to the back here and just. So they're trying to trying to cover that up again.
I think a shorter centre guard, but that's unfortunately not landed in a great place for them. So, is it Haley to throw again?
Haley looking to
get the
double and roll out herself.
It's on that kind of slightly
Hanging
straighter.
line,
Yep.
So it's the red away a little bit, but it's still there. It's could be a problem in a minute or two.
Yeah, certainly, depending where, I'd be. Oh, she has some. She has some different ideas than I would have. I thought she was going to come round on the wide side there, which would have been a strange call.
Yeah,
but looking to throw the guard, choosing the swingy hand.
Work out the objectives of the end, Well, stealing one would be great. Again, it's just chipping away, but is it too aggressive to try and steal more than one? Difficult, isn't it? You're so far down in the game.
Yeah.
I think I would be certainly covering this one up for the time being.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to have to work to. This is an
Really
over and up
short,
call,
isn't
but
it? Over and up if you can,
but it's got to get over.
It's got the over bit.
Yep, we're there. Stop sweeping. But that hasn't really. Yeah, that's left quite a hole.
Path through on the in-turn. Unusual for this event to run Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, because there's another full set of games on Sunday that are still round robin, followed by the quarterfinals in the night time. The New Year fell this time.
Yeah.
Really tight to the New Year.
Yeah, I guess it would be impossible for some of these teams to have got here to start on the.
Any earlier.
Yeah, on the Thursday. I'm lost with the days anyway. So having been off work since Christmas Eve. It's, well, that's a different question to when was I last. at work,
When you were at work, yeah.
which was Christmas Eve, which seems like a very long time ago.
It's a really nice little hit and roll there by Haley Duffkeep under the guard
Yeah.
through this gap. So
And a couple of shots in the end has absolutely turned. It
yeah,
was
he missed the guard line and then
Yeah.
the stone was visible. So having to come through this, it doesn't need to be overly heavy. This
yeah. I think that's been an issue here. The weight that they're throwing, that was fully barrier weight, wasn't it? And probably
too firm, just
a big barrier where a hack weight would have.
fine.
Yeah.
Just try and get
Even, just as we've said, a catcher would do them no harm at 6-1 down. You've got to maybe take a few more gambles and allow some of the opposition stones to remain in play, but acting for you rather than for the opposition. So
some options here. They can Henderson team could just cover up and make it difficult, or they could actually be swing one right in again. That line does suit them this time, I think.
yeah, down at the P of Perth.
Something like that.
Working hard on this one. There seems to be curling a little bit more than they would have liked, but they've held it. They've held it well,
If they get
actually.
it going now for the line's perfect now, just about distance.
Yeah,
Very nice, very nice. Allows-
good there. It does allow a corner freeze.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Just tapping there. So if you can get a fight, the same line, the same weight, just come down and freeze just off nose. It could be difficult for Robin Monroe to get rid of.
They would certainly ask questions. That's what they haven't
Well, that's
managed to
what-
do so
that's-
far.
that's all
They
they're looking
haven't,
to do,
they haven't put any pressure really on Team Henderson, and Team Henderson have played away. They've, done what they needed to do. But they
Haven't made many mistakes. Sometimes games where it's clearly quite one-sided. You sometimes just don't play at your very
you
best,
lose your
actually.
concentration.
Yeah.
So now they could work it to the back one. Yeah, you see that again. If she'd taken a step back, maybe it hasn't ended up in a terrible position, but it could have. They could have got it past the front
Yeah, it's
one
'cause he
onto that back.
Scraped inside the
Yeah.
right-hand guard and then just ran and ran.
This is, this could be difficult. It's difficult not to leave something for the Lithuanians here a little bit. If they roll over, there is going to be a little bit of a pocket potentially.
Not taking much ice in this. They hit this
No,
one
I
quite
think this is
hard. I
coming
thought
up.
they might just try and come up bumper weight and roll their shooter out to the left hand one at 9 o'clock there.
Yeah. Now there's.
They did it with a bit more weight. So if they'd done the one, I don't think they'd left such a big basket. But this is a chance. This one has to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. But they've seen the line, they know the kind of weight that they're looking for. The sweepers should be able to give the skip the information she needs. So
It's
on its way.
Paulauskaite stone on its way, facing 3, but quite a nice basket to draw to if you can get this line.
I think she's light again, Alan. By the way the sweepers are.
Yeah, I think that's looks like it's already touching the centre tape, but there's a guard.
Yeah, it's too soon. Yeah, that was a golden opportunity, I think.
So yeah, made it worse by narrowing down the port now, so
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to play draw weight the next time. You'd have to come at back ring, even hack weight to get through that line. It's probably a line that Henderson still wants to cover up though, because it's
Well, that is the question, isn't it? You know, do you throw something on the centre line, or as Robin's indicating there, do you go top of the 4 on the other hand, or the same hand but other half of the sheet, just to, because if, yeah, that makes it more difficult, I think, for the opposition.
I think it's difficult to come to that 4 and hold your shooter down.
Excuse me.
The weight you would be playing to hold the line, I think you would spill out away from the 4 foot anyway. So now just protecting the wide outside line now.
Yeah, I think they'll be feeling fairly confident that a multiple score is possible here.
One thing you don't want to do here is come behind the tee and leave them something
No.
to freeze against.
Yeah. Equally, if you're front ring, then you've left them something to come round too. So stone placement's important here to be top quarter of the 4 foot there.
Supers have been called on early for this one.
Yeah, I think the line maybe, or no, it looks like there's lots of room, so weight only.
Passes the guard comfortably.
Yeah, and we're so
Just jumped on that.
just it neither needed line nor weight really.
So if they were to freeze on that one, I think they would be lying with shot stone if red would lie in front of yellow.
And they've got the, you know, if they are shorter but fully in the 4 foot, then it's going to be a tricky one for
Pick out if they're
Faye to get rid of. Yeah. So it's turned again. Let's see how the speed of the ice is doing.
converse, of course, is if she doesn't like this.
Yeah. Looks a bit more weight, certainly. Oh, maybe not.
She just doesn't quite get out to the brush there, does she, on those wider stones?
No. And actually she is short of weight again, so.
Oh dear. Oh dear. So, first time Henderson's had the hammer, and it's going to be a multiple score. Already leading 6-1.
Pretty free draw for 8 foot for 5.
Eight foot. You take a touch more ice than that, and you've still got room to come down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to be entertaining that red guard at all. That would look to be inside the ice that Virginia took, but
Yeah,
possibly a different throw.
inside the one that for number 7 stone there, I think. Anyway, it must be. It's very coming too close to that guard.
No.
So last stone, 5th end, already leading 6-1 and lying 4. Henderson has a draw for the handful. As you know,
Sweepers having to.
we do like a 5.
Yeah, you do.
5s are good.
Always rather get a 5 than lose one.
Well, they're the thing. And it looks perfect at 5 it is. Right on the tee line. So 6-1 becomes 11-1.
Yeah, and that, I would say, the tiebacks would most definitely be off the curtains.
Again, just that one stone that made the difference. They were lying 1. went to try and play a guard, overcurled. Henderson team came through.
Yeah, they had.
Kept it in the side there, and then they're just chasing shadows after that to a certain extent.
Yeah, absolutely. Just
So
never
11-1.
quite got the weight and line right after that.
So the teams must play 6, so we fully expect that
One more end.
one more end will be played. So I think we're probably going to call a day on this one. The technology wizards are saying that we can jump sheets. And once they do that, we will try desperately to catch up on the situation. So we'll call that one a day. 11-1 Henderson leads. So we'll jump next door, and it's going to be local team Cara Thomson against Marianne Rorvik from Norway. Your eyesight's better than mine. What have we got? Is it 4-1?
I think we're 4-2.
4-2. Mm-hmm. Rorvik needs 4-2.
With Lastone
the
playing the
hammer.
5th.
Okay. Rorvik are playing the Yellowstones. Right, we're up to speed. Hopefully you've stuck with us as we transitioned there.
Seamlessly.
Seamlessly. Yeah. Nobody even noticed that, I think.
We've still got yellow and red stones. Rorvik are certainly a team that have come over to play in this competition last 2 or 3 years, I think, for sure. So they've obviously enjoyed it and think that it's good preparation for them.
Over the years, I think Norway have been very strong supporters of the men and women's event, haven't they?
Yeah.
First one in the calendar for the Bullsrud team usually.
Yes, it was. It was. So I wonder if we'll see a difference in the kind of weights being thrown here, although it doesn't look like an awful lot of ice.
Yeah, this is Christian Skaslian playing last stones for Bullsrud.
It's a pretty big weight.
Shove it in. You can't see an awful lot of this red one, so I'm just trying to pick this one out. She
And
does.
she has succeeded with that.
So Norwegian team do have last stone. That was last stone. So that was a pick out for a 2.
Maybe a 3.
Is there a little
I think there might have been a
biter
little
at the
biter at the
back
back there.
This is a very young Perth junior team, isn't it?
Yes.
Thomson.
Yeah.
Been playing on the Scottish junior circuit.
Yeah, I think gaining good experience again from the juniors, and then came here, were offered the opportunity to play here and saw it as a great chance to learn and play against teams who ordinarily they wouldn't have the opportunity to do so. So I think they'll be just excited and pleased to be here.
This is the Norwegian women's
champions,
team.
yeah.
So very good team. Skazlin's won 2 medals at mixed doubles at the Olympics. So
Yeah, strong
she's
team.
got lots of experience.
And last year's Worlds, was it last year's Worlds? They got silver, but actually had a really good chance to win. They were, was it the Worlds? They were leading Tirinzoni. Maybe it was the Europeans.
I think it was they took Tirinzoni a long way in a European final, I think was
Yeah, maybe it was a European final that they had a great opportunity to.
They're quite a defensive team. They do
Yeah,
quite
I
the
guess.
head a lot. If they're playing against higher ranked teams, they don't tend to take on too many difficult shots. They'll just keep it very simple. And then maybe just clutch it out at the end. But yeah, strong team. They would be one of the favourites, I think, this week to go through. We've got Team Pedersen from the USA are strong. We've got Team China. as well as Rebecca Morrison from our shores. So
And Faye Henderson.
Faye Henderson.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got
There's
some depth in the field. Hurleman, world junior champion.
it's a nice. Would they have wanted that stone when they're now 7-2?
7-2 up, and I'm thinking this might be the last end. I think I'd be tempted to put that in the rings.
Yeah,
And let Thomson do the work.
yeah. Coming round or throwing a corner.
Corner guard, I think.
Sweepers are working this one hard from Sophie.
Are these your protege, this team?
No, not really. Cara is in regional academy,
Yep.
so I am involved a little bit in coaching her on a Tuesday. Sophie, who's just thrown, was in regional academy last year, but moved up to uni in Aberdeen.
Okay.
Was it last year, year before? Anyway, she has formerly been under a wing, but yeah, they're a nice young team that keen and happy to be together and actually.
Well, I think we know the answer to your first question was, did they want that guard there with the Leeds first stone?
No.
Because they'd just been asked to play the hit of shame.
I'm pretty sure they didn't need it. They didn't maybe want it rolled underneath the corner either, though.
The dreaded hit of shame, which they've not then executed as well. That's a couple of mistakes. Ellen Sherland lead for the Norwegian team.
Yeah, we've got a couple of
Normally when I do this, I would
regionals.
with Xander, who's Norwegian, and he gets all these pronunciations correct. I just leave
Well,
it to...
sorry about that. I will continue to leave it to you. What have we got here? I'm just looking to
Yeah, a chance
to
to
bend
come,
a wee
to
bit
come
now.
round into Carl, past the guards with plenty of room.
They can take this one, yeah. It's not too bad an effort. Adjustment with the weight being a little short with the first one.
Mostly visible, I'd imagine, from the hack.
Yeah. Yeah,
Holding this for line.
it looks
It's not very
quite
heavy,
close
is
to
it?
that yellow guard. In fact, it's all over the yellow guard, so forced into an error there by, but I think potentially
close,
just
was
on the, maybe on the weight played or certainly a soft release. What does Cara do? I come round the yellow.
So Thomson has the hammer 7-2 down, but lying okay here. Another good
Certainly
score
with options, you know, two guards there and a couple of stones in play, and you could be looking to score a multiple here that will help you very much get back on track. Sweepers on this early, so do they now decide to, we're going to make sure you're getting something from it, so do they try and bring that right over the face and cover the back red? That's worked out pretty well.
A good bad shot.
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit off the pace in terms of distance, but again, because
Just
it's over
yeah, I
crowd,
think
it's
so.
actually
Just a
worked
little
out
light,
okay.
but the line has worked out well for them.
Norby, the second stones for this Norwegian team, looking to play the front to back. Oh,
Just about,
scrapes
yeah.
past the shot stone. Gets the guard out of the way though.
Yeah. Yeah. Problem with coming round that centre is that your red is very open. If you could have got through the hole with, you know,
Covered up a piece
yeah,
of
a
it.
piece of both of them
Yeah.
on
Okay.
offer, it might, but that's quite a tough.
Get this one round and safe, then yeah, the back one is there to be hit by the Norwegian team.
Be offered up.
First and foremost, get this one counting.
Yeah, that would look to be
Quite wide at the
not
moment.
wanting to do an awful lot of curling at the moment, and maybe a little heavy. Yeah, this.
Just overcompensated from the first one.
If it could hold on at the back.
Yeah, I think that is hanging on. I can see it from the deck here that that is just in the background, so non-threatening, but is at least counting.
They'll hopefully get the chance to make that count later in the end.
Yeah, just trying to work your way through for a 2 here to get a chance. And then Rorvik plays third stones. The team's in her name, but plays third stones. So trying to come through this gap if she can. Holding it for a line now. Looks good.
Yeah.
Does she get the inside roll onto the button?
Going to roll a little further than they would have wanted, so that gives Cara options to think about whether she buries one round the corner and kind of ignores that one for just now, or makes a play on it. She's tempted to make a play on it, where I might be tempted to ignore it for the time being.
She needs to play on it just yet, does she? Because she can.
You're then going to end up quite far back in the
Yeah.
house, which
What do you do?
just gives.
If she was trying to go around the corner, I'm not too sure that would that generate how that would generate the 2. So if she hits and rolls this, she's going to be behind the tee.
Yeah.
Could you just come round onto the button yourself now, lie first and third?
Yeah, I don't think I would necessarily be hitting this one. Could have come down to sit on it, or
It's just out of vision at the moment, but there's a red one right behind it. So if you're going to make this roll, you're going to be close to it.
I think we're going to be on that top yellow, unless they can sweep this really hard. Yeah, I think that was a little tight played and just.
Yeah, just the pressure valve has been released. This time Norway can come round the corner guard themselves, and
Yeah.
not conventionally, but they can lie first and second, and one of them safe, then it's going to be difficult to generate their comeback 2.
Yeah.
You got another game to do tomorrow?
I do at 2 o'clock tomorrow, so it will be Morrison Rorvik, I think.
Good to get
Which that'll be a
that
good
should be a
game.
good game,
Yeah.
It's good to get a little sight of the Rorvik team tonight.
Yeah. Weight here looks good. And the line, I might have been.
Yeah,
Good there.
nicely there, front of the
Yeah.
teeth, maybe an inch showing, but it's going to be close, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some degree of difficulty notches up a little.
That's it. Well, I like the choice of a lesser weight. I think is useful.
You can probably just chase this, push it out the rings, roll your shooter.
Roll back over to the
Yeah.
towards the other one.
Really looks like the angle would be perfect for hitting and rolling across to the Yellowstone. Then it would be a much more difficult question for Scaslian to deal with.
Okay. This has started to move, but they're holding it well actually.
This one for a line.
Yeah.
It's going to have to get close, past both guards, red and yellow.
Hard, 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 hard.
Oh, well swept.
Good sweep indeed.
Very good shot actually, because the temptation there is that you go past the first guard and you lift the
And
brushes.
yeah,
'cause
then you think
"Oh,
you've made it.
job
Yeah,
done," yeah.
absolutely. But kept on that well. And equally, while we've seen them come off the centre line quite well with the draw, if you happen to edge it back down the line a little bit, it will hang that line, for the first half of the sheet, and then that can make quite a difference to your result come the end. So this isn't 100% straightforward.
A little bit more ice, so maybe just a little bit quieter weight.
I'm not sure actually.
So Christian Scaslian trying to dig this red one out.
And they have just started it down the centre line a little, so we'll see if what we thought might actually... It's moving now though, isn't it? Has it moved enough? Yeah, just enough at that quieter weight.
Yeah, chips the red and white lies over on the far side, lies 2 actually.
Both behind the tee though, so
Yeah.
Good for a freeze here on either. Or
Looking at this double. If you make the double, the red one is going to go left to right. So if you make the double, your stone would lie right in front of your other counter. It'd be quite an easy double for Scaslian. A little bit more artistic skill required here. Going for the freeze on the side stone might have been useful.
and they're on it early.
You need to hit and roll in front of the other one would be probably the best shot, I think. This one's really curled away and hits half stone on the low side, so it doesn't hang around.
No. Did that catch their back red?
No.
No,
So there's a
still
yellow, there's a red just below your name actually on the screen, if that's. Scaslian presumably lie first shot actually, so they have to chase it or just play the cold draw.
Yeah.
Doesn't really need to be too clever with this one. Just don't leave a double.
Yeah, I guess it's a little tricky. Well, how far in do you come? Because you don't want to leave a straight nose on that back one being short.
Yeah.
Or, so do you want T-line behind the guards? Probably. Perfect.
Yeah, I would probably go a little bit higher up the rings and more to the centre, sort of maybe 1 o'clock front and 8 foot. Make that double really, really high.
So still trundling along. That's definitely going to come
Goes
deeper
if he
than
drops it behind the tee line, this double could be there, or it may not even lie short. Hangs on to lie second counter, but there is a double takeout for Cara Thomson, which would avoid her back red one as well. So
Well, she will definitely try it. She likes a hit,
go for
Cara.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was quite a big error by Scaslian, I would say. Didn't need to be anywhere near that weight.
No, even if you'd scored them up in the back ring like that, it wouldn't be a disaster. But to create any angle at all, even a glimmer, not great. But this isn't easy. So Thomson, Cara Thomson, 7-2 down, but does have a chance to get 2 of those points back with this double takeout attempt.
We gave up on our Lithuanian team too early. They scored a 2 in the 6th end.
Comeback is on. So here goes the shot for the double. Needs to hit about 3/4 of the stone and then roll across, take the second counter. Touches it, it goes, but her runner runs through as well.
Just a little thinner than she wanted.
Double's made, but doesn't land the second one, so it's only a 1-point score for Thomson. They close the gap a little, it's 7-3, but there's only 2 ends left. But yes, you're right, Lithuania did score 2 in the 6th, but 11-3. They
decided not to bother.
So they shook hands, 11-3 final score there between Henderson and Paulauskaite, which was our feature game that we jumped to catch some of this little closer game.
What is happening on the other sheets? We've got Peterson via Suter are 5-2 up against the young Scottish team. Team China, looks to me like there's a 2 maybe behind there, or a 1 and a 2, so at least 3-2, potentially closer.
It's a close game, they're currently lying.
Hurleman stole another 2, having stolen the 1 from Team Morrison, so our 5-2 up. Playing the 6th, and Bjornstad Swaller are Peels at 2-all.
You were annoyed too because you didn't get any.
It's 7-3 up. Marianne Rorvik against Cara Thomson's team. Thomson leading off. One of the centre guard.
Have they got it onto the centre line?
Just asking the question whether that one's going to be on the centre tape. This will determine whether they can touch that stone or not.
They must think that it is. That makes a huge difference as well, doesn't it? Now, if you can, you've got to make it to the centre line.
This centre line shot, now. So the difference being that if that was off the centre line, then Charlotte would be able to play a tick shot or attempt a tick shot, split them apart, and almost kill off any threat in the end straight away. So, because it is touching, they can't really move it, so I like them to play defensive tactics, just put one in the corner.
Cara throwing another guard, quite rightly.
Yeah, problem with that guard, although it's good for line, is that it's neither a short guard or
No,
longer. Sometimes
it's
you want
not.
the 2,
It's not
just
really
gonna play
ideal.
the mid-length
So this
guard.
has to be very short, which it doesn't look like it is. So they might want to think about trying to bring it round,
Come round it now.
do something with
What
it,
you can't
Cara.
do is leave it side by side.
You want to do something with it? Yeah, well, it's most definitely on the centre line now, but.
So I think looks like the Norwegians are electing to try and come around this first,
Yeah, and I've
but left it
failed.
very
A little
short.
bit
So
short, yeah. That certainly
That's a big
gives
help for Thomson.
gives options, gives chances to get round there.
Swing this one round, it's going to be well covered.
Certainly sweeping early, but looks quite light. And we've got another, certainly not short of guards in this end, but they're very much bunched together.
You could see all four move here and your runner. The one that might not move would be the one closest to Marianne Rorvik's foot there. We'll see, it's certainly a good chance to clear up some of this clutter.
Plenty weight.
Yeah, still in motion, so he moves two on the runner away, so now nothing chance to change.
Yeah, I
handle.
think I might become another. Is the team gonna encourage you to go the other way, Cara? No. Certainly a big swing on this ice with that.
Yeah, good
Chance
chance.
of ice has been given.
If you're going to make this one, because if you don't make this one, the guard. Well, even if you do make it, those guards are going to go.
This
Now your
looks
cover's good. Again, this
pretty
looks
light.
very light. This is really struggling to go over the hog line. Oh dear.
If they could bring it over a little bit, it might. I'm sure there's going to be a guard left though,
Get,
so
get
that's
the best out of it.
yeah.
It's really long, that guard as well now. Certainly wouldn't cause a problem if there was something hiding behind that one.
No.
Rorvik's going to make sure it goes anyway. If he can get some collateral damage on the way through. So out turn, presumably across the. Getting this guard straight across towards the two that are clumped together. Getting close now.
And they're all gone.
Just like that.
Yeah.
That's a very good clean-up job.
Yeah,
Absolutely
perfect.
nothing there. So now what to do?
Yeah.
How to generate any offence from this? Put another centre on.
I still think I might be looking at that other hand. This is a big swing. Seems to be maybe a little slower. Maybe they've been playing down this hand most of the game, which might, it might be that they like playing this hand because they know it, but the weight might be losing the. This doesn't look like it's overly heavy either.
Yeah, just on the sixth end, so the stones paths have all been played a little bit now. Obviously we joined this game later, so we don't know how the other ends went.
Yeah.
This one's come up a little short, it's kicked away. Oh, what a shame, what a shame. Just lost a little bit of positivity, haven't they? They had all those guards and then didn't use them, and then
Yeah.
that clean-up, I think, just killed the mood.
Yeah, but the girls are still smiling. They're, but that's the sweepers have to be keeping an eye on the weight of the ice. They have to be communicating the fact that it might be getting a little slower
might be a little path there,
yeah.
I can see the Norwegian team having to work this hard as well, so maybe just as you've gone later in the game, speeds are just slowing a little. Swept that one really well because those are
Swept
just
it.
about square up. Long way to hit and roll for this one.
Yeah, and I might be tempted to be trying to draw around that one, I think, if I was looking to
Yeah, use
force
one of-
or steal. Or,
Use that as a guard, come round under the tee lines, is there. Because even to get across to the other yellow, you'd have to be playing this so heavily.
which I don't.
This one's beginning to
the
burn
girls
off as well. She got contact. No, just pulled the weight down. That one curled off.
Yeah. Certainly seems a swingier sheet, this one, than sheet D, but it might just be the shots that we're seeing played and.
Seen so far, yeah. So line 2, and playing with the hammer and up. Doesn't get better in life than that.
Certainly a pretty comfortable situation to be in, to find yourself in at this stage of the game. Yeah. I'm looking to put this one centre, but it's going back. Well, it's going
It's going to go to
way
back 4, back 8.
8, back 12. Gosh.
12, so
Yeah.
and then again maybe tempted to your play, go around that right winger, see if you can lie shot, because
I mean, you certainly, yeah, you could be fully in the 8 foot, pretty much behind the guard, which,
yep.
yeah, this
This
is not
creating much
gonna.
danger for Norway, is it?
No. You're at least, you're kind of saying I'm comfortable to give you a 2, even if I make the double, you're going to hit.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
at this point, you want to try and force
So
or.
if you came around this right
Yeah.
corner and they don't get it right, but they chip out their own yellow, you draw the other way. You're lying 2. You've asked it.
Yeah.
Skazan might just like to draw the 4 through, which is fine. At least you've
Yeah.
asked her to do it, and she's made it.
Yes, you are right with thinking, come round. This is not. But I get, it's young heads, isn't
Yes,
it? They've got to.
What you can never really do is assume or expect opposition to miss stones. If she rolls to the middle, she's hoping that Norway miss everything.
Or
flash everything.
jam on the back,
Or the small chance
which
they
that
jam
might
on
be.
the back.
But I think you've got to force the issue a little more than that.
Yeah.
Ask them to play a more technical shot.
There's very few curling competitions where score difference comes into it, so it's not a case you're trying to minimise your loss.
Yes.
It's a win-loss record.
It's on its way.
Yeah, it's given a good bit of weight, but she needs it if she wants to get across to the left-hand side after impact. Even at that way, that curled a long way.
Yeah. Line second shot, but
I think they were trying to get stronger car.
So on this one, the sort of opposite argument is true, and Norway are quite happy if they spill out here because they don't want to leave a guard.
no, they shouldn't. They shouldn't want to.
So they can afford just to flick this one out and let the runner go.
I can't see how much ice they've taken a little bit, so they're obviously thinking it's gonna.
Yeah, I've taken
Cool.
other stones with it. trying to shift this with the sweep.
That has come out, but nearly back in.
Almost back in.
Yeah.
Again, she probably didn't want to really sweep that one out, if you see what I mean.
No.
She wanted that to be there so she could
Yeah.
come and freeze against
yeah,
it.
absolutely. I think Cara does have a coach, so that's all learning points that will would be discussed after
it looks
the.
wrong, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
we must get all these yellows out of play, but that's fact.
But no, that was
left that
yeah.
in the 12 foot. You might be able to get a freeze against it because this is a pinpoint actually. This one
Yeah.
freezing on a corner of this.
I'm not sure they're talking freezing. I think they're still. Oh no, they are. Now we're going with freeze.
But yes, they're very young.
Yeah.
You and I are thrown a lot more stones.
Are not
Against
very
all
young,
of us,
but we're not very young.
we've seen it all before.
Yeah, we've made all these mistakes ourselves in the past.
Probably one of the most difficult shots in curling, a corner freeze.
Yeah. Yeah. On a swingy piece of ice.
Again, using the sweepers to try and get this one close. Looks like it's got a lot of travelling to do yet to get across there.
Yeah, we're a little short, maybe, I think.
Just coming into sight now, just under.
Line would have been
Close.
Line would have been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it comes up short. So Rorvik already lying two. There's a free draw. Skaslin, of course. Skaslin throws no straws.
Yeah. I think there were the chance with the third player stone to draw around the top, the stone in the 12 foot, and I think that's where this end then just kind of got away from them a little bit.
Yeah, and that's not an easy shot to come around
No,
a stone on the top
no.
of the rings, but you have to sometimes take those chances,
Yeah.
don't you?
But I guess even if you'd been a little shorter and laying against it, it might have forced a jam. Yeah. Anyway.
So Skaslin already has two in her pocket. Looks like three. 7-2 lead already. That will make it 10-3. One end to play. But handshakes are out. So it's Rorvik that wins 10-3 over local team Cara Thomson. Great experience for them.
Yeah. They'll be back tomorrow with who do they play tomorrow?
They've got they're in the same group as Henderson and Suter and Lucerne, so they've got some chances there for wins. But not tonight. That game is now completed.
Where are we saying farewell?
We are done for the night. That's the transmission for this one finished. I hope you've enjoyed listening to our rambles as we followed two games there. We saw Faye Henderson beat Virginia Paulauskaite, and then we saw Marianne Rorvik beat Cara Thomson. So great to have you join us. There's plenty more. We hope that you can come back to this channel or the YouTube channel 8 o'clock for more live curling from the Perthmasters 2025. From Mary and myself, it's goodbye.
Bye.